Struggle with releasing stress. Yes, you live in Northern Virginia. You struggle with stress. We all do. A way that I relieve stress is with painting. So today I'm going to show you guys how to paint a sunset. And you're probably going to think, what the heck is this girl thinking? Painting is stressful because it's hard and I'm not creative. Blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. This is, if you let go of your perfection of what a painting is supposed to look like, it will be completely fine. I was the same way. I'm a perfectionist, and I love painting now because I've gotten better at it with practice, and I've learned to let go that it's painting. It's not supposed to look like a picture. It's supposed to look like a painting. And once you accept that, then everything goes pretty smoothly. You're going to need some supplies. I recommend having a variety of sunset colors like blues, yellows, oranges, blacks, reds, pinks, purples, greens, the works. You're going to want a cup of water with a variety of different kinds of paintbrushes and some paper towels. To start, I work from the top down the sunsets. So if you imagine a sunset in your head, it's going to be dark, almost black at the top, just like a night sky. And then the closer you get to the horizon where the sun is setting, the lighter and brighter the skies gets. So what I do is I want mostly blue, and I'm painting this landscape down on my canvas. But then I want a touch of black to give it that almost like black, but not quite. It's more like a very dark blue night sky look. And you just kind of blend them together and you brush it on the paint. You can get canvases really affordably from Walmart. That's what's so great about painting, is it's super affordable. And then you would fade into your next color. And fading is a really tricky thing to do. So what you do is you take a little bit of your past color. Step one of painting was the top. So black and blue, and it gets more and more blue the farther down you go. You can blend however you want to blend. The more, it's all your take on it. More black or more blue. Then you want to go into a lighter blue. So whatever kind of lighter blue you want to use, it's up to you. I'm using this color. And then you want it to overlap with your darker blue. And then you want to blend it together here. I took my lighter blue and I brought it up into my darker blue to have it blend into a more natural looking. So it's streaky, but like not streak as in lines, streaky as in like it's kind of blended. So then you want to take your next color, which I'm going to use purple for my next color. I'm going to use darker purple first and then have it fade into a lighter purple. I'm just going to squirt a little bit on the canvas here. And then again, just overlap it straight with the lighter blue that you did before. Just by brushing long strokes. Always long strokes, never short strokes when you're blending the background. And blend it up and then down into your blues. I'm using is pink, and if you haven't caught on, the color scheme for my sunset is more of a darker color. It's not super orangey and red, it's more of a purple, pink, blue, which you can use whatever color scheme you personally prefer. I like both, but I also like to change it up. You want to make sure you choose colors that you prefer, that you find calming. I personally find blues and purples to be very calming, but some people like the more vibrant electric colors like orange and red and yellow. So when you're blending, it's important that you bring it up and then down. So that way you have streaks of the purple up top in your darker blue section, but you also have streaks of the blue down in the purple section, so then it looks all like natural there. And then I brought my pink into my purple, and I'm just using long strokes like so to bring it down. And you want to make sure, if you're using a stretch canvas, make sure you hit the sides of the canvas, so that way it doesn't look weird, essentially. The next color I'm going to use is going to be a yellow to get that more of the sun aspect in there. The same background filling paintbrush this whole entire time because we're using a background, and with sunsets, background is essentially the whole entire thing. So remember my darker color fading into my lighter colors here. I brought yellow in, and that yellow blended with the pink to make this kind of orangey peachish color, which blended with my purple. I have streaks of my blue down in my yellow, and I have streaks of my yellow up in my blues. That's what makes it look natural and streaky, but like in the right way, and that smooth streaks. The next step that we're going to do is, well, you have to let this top part dry, but in order to make this look, instead of just like a blend of a bunch of colors, you have to add in the landscape. So I'm just going to do some rolling hills because that's the easiest thing to show. So I'm going to use a darker green, and I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to fill in that background just like you would pencil in some hills. That same background brush, but since I'm not blending anymore, I'm going to stop and actually rinse off and dry out my brush and start fresh with a clean brush. I'm going to take my green, I'm just going to put it on the bottom, and I want it to be a nice solid green. I don't want it to be blended with my yellow because it's separating the sky and the ground. But you do want it to look natural. You don't want it to look like just green. You want it to look a little like grass, which in grass isn't all identical straight on green. It's more of a mix of different shades of green. So that's why the yellow from before is kind of coming in handy here because a little bit of it is running into our green, which gives us a little bit more of that natural light and dark green mix in there. And so you can have your hills as big or as small, as gradual or as steep as you'd like. I'm doing a more gradual look. So I now have my landscape along with my sky. Um, Eventually we're going to, now I have to let this background dry, and then we're going to add in some details, and then we'll be done. So the top portion of our background, the darker part, is now dry enough to where we can add stars, which is just a fun little detail, and it's probably the easiest part of the entire painting. All you have to do is find something with a thin end. So I'm just using the end of my smallest paintbrush and dip it in gold, silver, white, yellow, whatever color you want your stars to be, the paint, and you just dot it onto the darker part of your sky. It's as easy as it sounds. You probably want your dots to be a variation from small and little, and you want them to just be random and scattered, just like the night sky. And this is just, like, seriously, you can't get any simpler than this. And sometimes the simplest of paintings, like the least complicated ones, are the most relaxing, in my opinion. And then you can bring a couple of stars, but not as many into your purpley section. Or if you're doing a more orange and red scheme, your more orangey section. Because, the stars get thinner the lighter the sky gets. See? So, simple enough. Doesn't need to be anything too crazy here. Just a couple stars. And then to finish off, we're going to have our sun. I'm going to make my sun a nice deep red. You can make your sun whatever color you want. You can make it purple even. This is your painting, so you make it look like how you want it to look. I'm going to use a smaller brush for my sun, so that way it's easier to control this small brush. Now, if your background isn't totally dry yet, this will be hard. So, the drier your background, the better your paint is going to go onto your canvas. My background is still a little white, but I personally prefer it that way because then that orangey pink background I had kind of blends with my red and makes it look a little more natural blending wise. So this here is my sun. Nothing too extraordinary about it, as you can see. It just is there. And you can add fun details sometimes when I'm doing sunsets. So if I'm drawing a moon in the sky, put a smiley face on it. Get creative. Do whatever suits yourself. But what you always have to do for your paintings is sign it with your initials on the bottom right-hand corner. And that is how you paint a painting. And in conclusion, it takes a lot of practice. However, didn't you find that once you let go of all that minutia, it became a great way to de-stress as you watch the paint fill your canvas with those smooth, long strokes that I was talking about? Sometimes it isn't about how the painting looks, it's how it makes you feel. And my hope is that it made you feel peace.